Shut up and sit down.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Ken Frederick Podcast, episode 86, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 movie review. I want to say thank you for listening. If you just stumbled across us on the interwebs, check us out at kfpodcast.com, at kfpodcast on Facebook, at Ken Frederick Podcast on the Twitter, at Ken Frederick Podcast at the Grams of Instance, and the YouTubes. And that's it.
Oh, you did that right that time.
Yeah.
Nifty.
Starting to get the hang of this.
Of reading 25 web pages.
Yeah. So we just got out of Denny's. Before that, we were at Guardians.
And this is the Denny's review. Me and Justin will be talking about the avocado steak salad. And
Me and Brock will talk about how many eggs and how to eat them.
Yeah, how to eat eggs correctly.
Yes.
And now how bad the cheeseburgers are.
Is that brown sugar?
stick to country fried steaks, Lance.
Special orders upset Don.
By the way, Lance is here. Welcome,
Yes.
Lance, to the
Hey
first
there.
time ever in the new studio.
Yes.
Yes, this is a
If you'd like to sponsor the studio, feel free to hit us up.
$25.
Per episode. Per person. Per microphone.
Yeah, we're already derailed.
Yep.
It's late.
It's
It is
late.
late. It is
So
late.
we're going to go over some non-spoiler reviews, some spoiler reviews, and whatnot. So let's go with non-spoiler reviews. Lance, you are our guest. You may go first.
I'll just start out by saying I liked it.
Uh-huh.
There was a lot of stuff that was handled not as crappily as it could have been.
Okay.
And if you're a fan of 70s and 80s music, you really need to like the soundtrack.
I thought the soundtrack was a dud. It was okay.
It's all right.
It's
I
hard
don't
to
think
top
they
the
were
first
as
one.
popular as the songs that were used in the first one. These were kind of like
Yeah.
less popular songs. That's why it was Volume 2. But they were still entertaining.
Yeah,
Still,
that's good.
You know, still upbeat enough.
It's
and
nice.
Good.
I just like to hear an alien musical
Yeah.
group.
Everybody loves that music.
Everyone in the universe is listening to Brandy by... what was the name of the band? Shit. So I can't...
While
miss
you
it.
look it up, we'll go to
Looking Glass.
Brock.
Looking Glass.
Oh, me? I wasn't ready. I enjoyed it. I thought it was almost as good as the first one. I still like the first one a little bit better. I think they forced a lot more comedy in this one than necessary. But story was good. The villain was better than I thought he would be. And I'll just save the rest for later.
Yeah.
You go. I'm saving mine for last.
No,
Oh, I know why you're saving yours for last.
Yeah.
Because he's...
So, I really enjoyed it. I still need a little bit of time to process it, but
All right, we'll come back. We'll be back in a
shut
minute.
up. But I did really like it. I didn't think it was quite as good as the first one, but there was a lot of really good elements in this. I thought the soundtrack, like the guys just mentioned a minute ago, was a little bit weaker than the first one, but overall, I had a good time. I really liked it.
I'm the only one that liked the soundtrack.
He did have a good time. I was sitting next to him. He was having a great time.
He's like, whoopee! I'm having a great time!
Part of the way I rate a movie is not just on the movie; it's how I feel
The
when I leave the movie.
experience.
If I don't have a good
He was
time,
rock hard.
if
so it's
oh Jesus,
Here we go.
it's too late. We should have recorded this
I
3
know.
I'm
hours
so
ago.
glad he sat next to you.
I know. Why do you think I
No.
sit next to him?
if I don't have fun, if I don't have a good time during the show, I'm not gonna give it a good rating.
I know. It's just funny. How about you there, big dog?
I liked it. I think out of all this phase of like sequels to Marvel movies, it was one of the better ones. Like this and Cap, I think are probably better of the sequels to these Marvel movies. I enjoyed it. I didn't think it was as good as the first one. I think that there was a lot of stuff that was shoehorned in to steal Brock's.
Shoehorn always still.
Shoehorn.
It was good. It wasn't great. I rewatched the first one like last week with Mindy, and I forgot how great that movie was. I didn't get the same feel. I thought it was good, but it
Yeah.
wasn't as good as the first one.
Okay. So mine.
Here we go.
Yeah. Well, no. So. You know, when we do these things, I come back. I listen to these podcasts a lot because, like, I do the editing, so I hear myself.
Because you like to hear yourself talk.
No, and I
Yeah.
just think, like, boy, I should have said this, I should have said that, I should have thought about it a little better. So I was thinking about this over and away in the car, and from now on, I'm rating these movies two different ways. Because Lance will yell at me sometimes with these and be like, it was still good. Didn't you enjoy it? You know, so looking at this movie as just the movie itself, nothing MCU tie-ins, anything like that. It's an enjoyable movie. I like these characters a lot. I love Chris Pratt as Peter Quill. He's great. I mean, they're all so good. Bradley Cooper's great with the rocket stuff. So they're enjoyable. I like seeing them together. They have such good chemistry. I'm looking forward to seeing them mixed in with the Avengers stuff. I liked it as that. With that said, as an MCU movie, and when I mean an MCU movie, I think of a movie that's progressing this giant story arc that they've been working on since the first Iron Man. All these movies tying together, pushing towards something. Nothing to me was as majorly impactful as Guardians 1, because it was like really opened up this universe for you and showed you the Nova Corps, the Stones, Thanos, Ronan, the Kree. It was like, wow, man, this is going to be fantastic. This movie did nothing for MCU advancement to me at all. It's Iron Man 3 in outer space is how I feel about this movie. It was a single story that means nothing to the grand picture of everything, other than, and we'll get into spoilers and I'll go a little bit in there, there's a couple little things, but in general, I was like, could care less about the villain. I thought he was boring. I thought it was pointless, and it just didn't do anything as an MCU movie. Entertainment-wise, my kids are going to love this movie when they see it on Saturday, and they're going to go crazy over all the funny stuff. The comedy they got a little out of control, went a little overboard with some of the jokes. It was like they're almost getting to the point where they have to dial it back a little bit.
Yeah.
For Guardians 3.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it that every time they talk, it's funny. It wasn't like that in the first movie. I could remember the lines that were hysterical in the first movie, or this one, I'm like, I gotta see it again. There's so many jokes. I can't remember which one was the best one. There's a joke every 2 seconds. Every time they talk to each other, it's a joke. Mm-hmm. You know, where the first movie, there were some serious parts with like Ronan and all the Thanos stuff. There was, there's some serious aspects to it, where this was just like stand-up comedy in outer space. So
as Brock mentioned about Deadpool 2, they tried to out Guardians of the Galaxy 1.
exactly.
Which I expected.
But we'll get into spoilers, and then you guys can talk a little bit more, and we'll come back to that.
All right, Justin.
I'm up.
No, say it. Come on, rookie.
Jeez.
You've never done one of these before.
God,
It's been a while since we've done a review.
go home.
Fine.
You mean since we did Power Rangers
All right, are we ready?
last month?
Yes, say it.
Spoilers.
Everyone in your house is awake now.
Everybody. All right, so spoilers, go. You can start, or whatever you want.
All right. I really like Yondu in this movie. And spoiler alert, he doesn't make it out of the movie. And that
Which I was surprised by.
I'm surprised and disappointed at this both, because I really thought his arc in this, he could have really become a true member of the team in Guardians 3. He's powerful. That arrow thing that he does, he can stand in a room.
It would have been nice to see him fighting alongside the
Yeah,
Avengers
exactly.
and everything.
He took out a whole ship.
Yeah, he took out a whole ship of people while standing in a sealed room with Rocket. And that's a power that they could use against Thanos and what we think is going to end up being the, what are they called? The
Ebony Maw.
The Ebony Maw.
No, the Black Order.
Black Order. So I'm a little disappointed Yondu didn't make it out, but
I kept waiting for him to wake up or something.
yeah, and I
Going,
mentioned
I'm not dead, Quail.
Yeah.
Which you made a good point in the thing was, in the first movie, when Gamora and Star-Lord are out, they're out there for a long time. Star-Lord's turning all blue and everything else. Like, ready to die. He was out there for like 10 seconds and he was dead.
They already broke their own continuity. And I'm a giant nerd, so I watched an episode of Because Science on YouTube today.
Of course you did.
That was, could Peter Quill have actually survived in space? And they talked about it, and through scientific evidence, Yondu wouldn't have been dead. He would have been fine. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
It just would have been freeze dried.
Yeah, they could have revived
But as
him.
soon as he got back into a pressurized ship and warmed up, he'd have been fine.
It was the whole sacrifice.
that's
of-
a
Assuming he has human anatomy.
Thank you. That's what I was about to get into.
Right.
Right.
It was all getting into the whole point of
anatomy.
I lost my real father.
Yeah.
That whole thing. So.
I am surprised. For me, Baby Groot didn't get old. I
It was
did
getting close.
Yeah.
in the opening scene. I was like, okay,
Didn't get old like he didn't grow bigger, or didn't
no,
get old.
it didn't bother me.
Oh,
throughout the
okay.
movie.
Because I agree with you. He didn't get older, but it got old.
See, I don't.
It got old for me.
Yeah.
It didn't bother me. I thought it was going to. It didn't bother me even at the end of the movie. That first opening scene, at one point, I was kind of like, okay,
Yeah,
let's dial this back a little bit. But then once they got into the movie, I didn't think they overused it in the movie.
Yeah.
So I liked it. That's all the spoilers I'll give. I'll leave some other stuff for.
Oh, you're gonna leave some stuff
Yeah.
Some stuff.
for Lance? Go ahead.
There we go.
Go ahead, Lance.
I think their portrayal of ego. I mean, I'll jump into the comic part of it.
Yeah.
I think for people who are not comic book fans, that was probably the best way to portray it.
Okay.
Ken disagrees.
No, go ahead. Keep
Yeah,
going.
keep going.
All right. Actually, probably my favorite part of the movie were the little cameos of Howard the Duck.
Okay.
Yeah, he pops up a couple times.
It's it's one of those things where the comedy, it's always sort of forced, and like you guys said, you're trying to out-guardian the Guardians. But the one thing is the guy who plays Drax,
Dave
Dave
Bautista.
Dave Bautista. There was an article about how they played him as an autistic, and how that sort of inspired some other autistic kids.
Okay. I never got that.
Yeah, because
I picked up on that in the first movie.
because he doesn't understand humor or subtext, things
Okay.
like that.
All right.
And
I just thought that was because he was an alien.
well, no, in the article it says that that's probably what they intended, but what it
Okay.
came out as is these kids who are autistic, this is how they are. They identified with the character. So
Yeah.
I mean, they sort of carried that along, so it was good. And then you had
I thought he was so much more serious in the first movie and was like a badass. This one, I thought he was like acting like a total clown.
He came across
Non-stop.
as stupid to me.
Yeah, like
He wasn't-
nonstop.
not naive,
he
but
wasn't
stupid.
mourning so much this time.
It was like he got a hold of what humor was, and then that's like all he was gonna do.
Right.
Just make joke after joke after joke after joke after joke.
But if you think about it, a person with a personality like Drax's, that's probably how they would lean. Once they learn how to do something, they're going to grasp onto that and do it more and more and more.
Man.
well, and
So
especially
I-
if it helps with social interaction.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
The portrayal of the villain Ego, I'm not crazy about that, but I was sort of really hoping to see the Celestials and some of the other Eternals,
Yeah.
things like that.
Yeah.
I think that's coming in Thor.
Yeah.
Yeah, they spotted him in the trailer.
And the cameos by the Watchers and Stanley, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, the Watchers was I really.
And he was basically recapping that he's been in all these movies.
Yeah.
Because everybody thought Stan Lee was a watcher.
Well, I think this proves he is a watcher.
And then he's sitting there recapping,
Yeah.
and then I got another story, and I was sitting there in a car, I wanted him to just say the X-Men in there and just be like, screw it, we're saying
Yeah.
it.
Well,
You know?
did you guys notice when they were doing the warps, how like the first world looked like one of the battle worlds? And
I was going to ask that if that was like Planet
I'm sure
Hulk
there
or-
was a lot of cameos there. It was happening so fast.
Yeah.
It's hard to keep up.
well,
but-
they were said like Ego is 700 jumps away, so
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
so
Crazy.
that was me.
How about you there, Brockstar?
One thing I liked a lot was the character development they did for Nebula.
Yeah.
Because she was just kind of around in the first one. You knew she was Thanos' daughter, but in this movie they go into the detail of how he was basically tortured her entire life and explains the feud between her and Gamora. I enjoyed that and gave some depth to that character. And I have to say that Drax got annoying to me about midway through the movie with the unnecessary humor and everything. Because it was the same jokes over and over again.
Yeah.
And then the baby Groot, I also got annoyed with that too, especially when he was trying to get the fin. I'm like, okay, 2 or 3.
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
We
It
really need
went on
17.
and on and on and on and on
Like,
and on. Yeah.
During that, I actually got a kick out of it. It was like the whole like running around. I don't know.
I think he's supposed to be an infant, but
yeah, that's the thing I don't get. Like, I know Groot in the comic, like when he's been blown up, he regrows pretty quickly, and he still has his conscience.
Yeah.
He's just small.
this is just almost like his offspring. Or
Yeah, it was
something.
it was like he died, and this was like his baby. Because then, and a spoiler, but when they show one of the cutscenes of him as a teenager playing video games, not listening to his dad, didn't clean his room.
I was waiting for a masturbation joke in there. I really
I'm
was.
surprised you didn't. Yeah.
that was I like that scene.
I don't know why he
Leaves
was
or
a
something
baby
like that.
for so long.
Yeah, and then he just grew,
Yeah,
aged 10 years in a night.
And the way they were coddling him like he was a baby and
Yeah.
rocking him to sleep, I was like, this is strange.
Yeah, it got annoying to me.
Yeah.
And Ego turned out as good as I think you can do Ego in a movie.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Ego, the living planet. I mean, what can you really do to make that cool?
Yeah, I mean, he's never been cool to me in comics.
So I think,
Right.
considering what they chose to use as a villain, I think it came out the best they could have done with it.
Although one thing I really did like was the imagery on the planet.
Oh yeah, it looked cool.
yeah.
It looked great. It
That-
looked just
the
right out of the
landscapes, the
comic.
rainbow
Was he
bubbles.
always a villain, though, in books?
He was.
He was always kind of like neutral. I
Yeah.
always thought.
Always felt like he whatever benefited him because he's
Yeah.
a planet. But like, yeah. But they also here's my problem with this whole movie. They call Ego
Okay.
the living planet a celestial. They
Yeah.
keep saying that he's a celestial,
But he's
not
not.
a celestial. He's just a living planet that has a conscience and is part of the universe.
Right.
True, he's not one of the big robots.
Yeah, he was never a celestial.
No.
So by implying that because
Nor
they've
Star-Lord's
already
father.
what's that?
Nor was he Star-Lord's father.
No, that was Jason Sportex. But so in the realms of these movies, whenever when Peter Quill's in contact with a celestial, he will then gain the power of a celestial because he needs to be around the spark of whatever the all-spark cube, whatever you want to call it.
That kind of doesn't come out till June.
Or is that only his father's? This is the only one that'll work.
Well, because that's his offspring.
Well, it
That's
seemed
the way-
like
that's the way
it
they
didn't
said.
work for him till he landed on that. But it helped him touch an infinity gem and not die.
That's true.
Yeah.
You know.
So I have a feeling that like the fact that Star-Lord has all these powers kind of annoys me, or like is possibly have all these powers.
Yeah, because he's just kind of like a regular guy.
The great thing about Star-Lord is the fact that he is just a human in space, and he has the knowledge of everything that's going on, but he's just a regular guy dealing with it.
He's, and I know this may piss people off, but he's Corsair from the Starjammers.
Yeah.
This is how Corsair used to act before. Star-Lord didn't used to act like
No.
this. I mean, if you read old X-Men books with the Starjammers in it, this is how they act. They had a big monster guy, they had a funny dude, they had a warrior girl, and they had him, and Corsair was like this swashbuckling human in outer space that did
Yeah.
all that. I feel that's what they've turned Peter Quill into, that he's now this, like, captain of the ship, and he's funny, and he's he doesn't have a sword like Corsair does, but
Yeah.
I feel that's who he is. Like it's not really original, but I don't
They
know,
probably
little-
switched it over because they couldn't,
yeah, they couldn't
find a
use
way-
the Starjammers, so they
or they couldn't profit off the guy named Chode.
Chode's hard to Chode and Raza and the whole gang.
Yeah.
Hepzibah.
Hepzibah. But anyway, go ahead.
So I was annoyed by all the
That
you
he
know,
has superpowers.
yeah, all the connection to because basically there was a lot like it got kind of deep where you're like, they're talking about God and Jesus and the fact that he can create life on all these planets.
Yeah.
It got kind of heavy for a little bit.
Yeah,
I was
it
like,
did.
Yeah,
I'm like,
it
this
did.
is like I didn't understand where it was going, and when it got there, I was okay with it. I actually really enjoyed the fact that how they portrayed Ego could, like, if he's on the planet, he can make himself a body and then go places. But if it's gone for too long, it deteriorates.
Yeah.
I enjoyed all that, and then when they did the 4 cutscenes and they showed like Kurt Russell's face on the planet, it looked just like
Yeah,
the
Yeah.
old
It made
Kirby.
sense because we were wondering how he was going to be in a body, and the way
Yeah.
they told it worked.
Yeah.
And I liked all that. What was the name of the golden her?
Aisha
Oh, the
and the contingent or
The Sovereign.
The
Sovereign.
Yes, thank you. I enjoyed them. I also enjoyed the fact that they weren't manning their ships. I'm like, that makes so much sense. They didn't have to
Yeah.
waste
I had a little bit of a problem with that.
Really?
It looked like a video game arcade.
I think it was
Well,
supposed
And
to.
they
supposed to.
had the video game, the old vintage video game sounds
yeah.
on there.
My problem with it is like they're the sovereign. They're all powerful. They couldn't take out one ship with 100 or 200 ships.
They're all about their own vanity. They're not really
Right.
like warriors or anything.
But I mean, they were such. And then the bullets that are hitting the ship aren't even blowing the ship up. And I understand, like, okay, this is like the Milano and it has shields. Then they're in like a drilling, digging, not even a warship. It's a drilling ship. And they can't blow this ship up. They're shooting it. And then he does a laser beam and blows them all up. I'm like, boy, they are useless. Who's scared of these people?
Well, why would you need a lot of shields if you have nothing to protect? Like, you're not...
It's a drone.
It's a drone.
right.
But they sucked. I don't know why they were
But that's
so
why there's
afraid
so
of.
many of them.
Well, they
But
also,
even having many of them sucked because they got taken out by one drilling spacecraft
They
that
get
got
other
shot
people to
about
do their
90
dirty
million
work.
times.
Yeah,
they hired the Guardians to protect.
I'm just
their
saying
stuff.
I wasn't really too impressed with
Well,
them.
I
I
don't-
mean, and also, I mean, they actually viewed it as a video game. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah,
when
it's
the
like a
last one
arcade,
dies, they're like,
yeah.
okay, well,
Yeah.
you suck. Let's go do something else.
Yeah.
I mean,
I enjoyed them.
yeah, I didn't really care for them. As soon as I saw them, I thought these people look like Adam Warlock. And then at the end,
Yeah.
they introduce Adam Warlock, which I'm like, okay, so I guess the whole point of these people
Yep.
is to give us Adam Warlock.
to that.
And that's my problem. Like I said before, as this didn't work as an MCU tie-in for me, was I would have rather them skip Ego, skip all that stuff, made Warlock his dad, and progress the story that he tells Peter Quill, I gotta get you ready because Thanos is conspiring. I've been tracking him down. I've been protecting the galaxy, trying to hide a stone. I feel like they really dropped a ball where James Gunn was like, there's no Infinity Stones in this movie. We're not tying any of that in. I want to make, like I said, an Iron Man 3. He was like, I want to make this movie and tell this own story. It didn't tie in at all.
Well,
Other than Adam Warlock, nothing about this ties into any other movie. It's like a solo space movie.
But I have a feeling that it's gonna come back later, and it will. You're gonna see one of these movies, either Infinity War or Part 2 or whatever, and you're gonna go, oh, that's why they did that. In
like
Guardians
what?
2.
Like, give me an example.
I'm not sure yet because I haven't
when
seen the
Drax
coming movie.
was complaining about his nipples all the time, you're going to find out that his nipples are actually impeded.
Like, there was no Nova Corps
that-
stuff. There was no more advancement of the
was-
Nova Corps. They showed them flying around when their planet was being split. I wanted to see more development there.
But you see the uniting of the Reavers. Reavers?
Of the Reavers?
Yeah.
Ravagers.
Ravagers. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Reavers are the other one.
No, the Ravagers, okay.
And the other thing is, I'm thinking, even though they get rid of Ego at the end, I'm thinking Star-Lord's still going to have, like you said earlier, either he
He's
comes
going to have
into
some
contact,
power to touch another Infinity Stone.
or the next time he comes in contact with another Celestial,
or to-
he's going to be able to steal their
Or to
power.
beat Thanos. Star-Lord beats Thanos.
Or he's going to be able to hold the Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah.
Something.
I mean, did you, like, you guys haven't really responded to what I said there. Do you think this
You haven't
movie
given us a chance to respond
advance
to
it? Get the out of here. Do you think this movie advanced the MCU at all?
Not.
I think as much as Cap 2 or
Really?
Iron Man 2, like it's
My Iron Man 2 really advanced it. It helps bring the Avengers together.
okay. Iron
Yeah.
Man 3. I don't feel like all these Marvel movies have to lead towards the big picture.
See, but I guess that's my problem. I do. Because I don't see what the point
Yeah, that
with-
is your problem.
I don't see what
It's
the
not my
point of them
problem.
with them is.
There's too many of them now to keep doing that.
But that's what they wanted to do. That's why they have them in phases and they're telling this vast story.
Well,
But
they're
they're-
telling this vast story to push it towards something. But
Right.
think of it like comic books, all right? You've got 15 different Marvel titles.
Right.
Some of them are moving towards one story, some of them
Yeah,
moving
but
towards
these
the-
aren't comic books that are coming out every month and are going to be going on past an event. That's different for me. If
What
a
if
comic book is we break into where we're tying into an event and now we're going back to our thing, these aren't what these are. These are built towards these. Like I said, Guardians 1 is built towards helping set up Infinity War. Go ahead.
I had to raise my hand.
Go ahead. I'll shut the up while you
No.
while you
I
come
just,
in.
I got your point. I just wanted to say something. Maybe the development of this movie isn't the fact that it's something tangible like an Infinity Gauntlet or Thanos. Maybe it's the fact that Star-Lord is getting in tune with the universe and he's maturing as a character to maybe be the guy to realize that he can hold the gauntlets. And
And
defeat
I
Thanos.
don't like that. I don't want Star-Lord to be the guy
John,
that saves the
you're
world.
You're not Kevin Feige.
But am I not allowed to have an opinion about what I want in the MCU?
I'm
just
Or
messing
why
with
am I
you.
doing
I'm just
this?
messing with you.
You're
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
but-
don't like that. I don't want
Absolutely
Star-Lord to be the hero of... He's Star-Lord to me. He's not like Thor or like Cap or one of the main players that is going to be one of the guys, or Hulk.
He is now, though.
But he's now. This movie is just to tell me that Star-Lord's part Celestial, and he's going to take out Thanos, or like it was
The other
pointless.
thing that brought together is Nebula and Gamora now have a better.
Yeah. After they tried to kill each other, then they hug it out and they're better. That was.
Well, but you also see this further aligning Nebula as an enemy of Thanos.
Yeah, which she's gonna go get her ass kicked if she tries to go take on Thanos.
She's gonna get turned into a zombie and be by his side. That's
Probably.
They're trying to humanize her so something bad
kill her.
happens. Yeah.
I don't know. I just didn't care for this in the MCU. Like, even like I said, Ant-Man. It's a solo story, but it introduces Ant-Man, who then is in the next Civil War movie. It moves it along to, here's Ant-Man, he's going to be an Avenger. This is what it did for you. Same with Doctor Strange. Here's how magic gets in the Marvel Universe. He's going to be in Thor. He's going to be in the Avengers. It's working that way. Guardians 1 is fantastic in doing, here's space, here's Nova Corps, here's Thanos, here's Ronan. I don't understand why Thanos wasn't in this movie. I don't know why there isn't an alert to, even to them saying, like, Thanos is on the move. We gotta do something. Or the Nova Corps called us. He got the gauntlet. He's looking for gems. Like, I felt they could have done any of that. I felt this was James Gunn doing, no, I have this funny story about a planet that has sex with women on every other planet and makes a bunch of offspring and then kills them all off. I'm like, it's
What
not.
if Captain Kirk was a planet?
I mean, that's really what it was. He made himself a thing and went around and banged. There's literally a holographic image of him banging a bunch of different alien chicks. He has a squid lady, like, sitting on his lap in the one picture. And he had a bunch of offspring. But for some reason, an offspring with an earthling, of course, is the right mixture. And he's able to... And then
Earth
when
is
they
the center of the
made a
universe.
ball and played catch together...
That was great.
I almost wanted to get up and walk out. What the hell?
it
Was
was a
that
touching-
Field of
It
Dreams?
was a touching moment.
It was so
He finally
stupid.
met his father.
And they're like, "Hey, let's play catch." Did that not bother you, that scene?
I didn't know, because it was him connecting with his father. Because they didn't believe it was
They were
his
playing catch with an energy ball. Like,
So that's where I'm supposed to, like, not believe. Like, that's where I get this.
so
There's a tree
stupid.
that walks around and doesn't say, it says 3 words, and that's the part where I go, oh, myself. I don't understand. Like, this movie's just really
It's
not
so-
connecting
it's so
with me.
stupid.
Suspension of disbelief starts there.
Yeah. Like,
I can't wait till we go see the Aquaman movie, and you're like, "Oh, he made something will happen there," and you'll shit all over it.
yeah, I will shit all
Yeah,
over it.
yeah.
But it'll be because he's right on the top of the car.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Weird.
Him riding on the car was so weird to you in the trailer, but a living planet that's Kurt Russell but playing catch with an energy ball is so touching and nice.
Here's the reason. The world that I'm in that movie,
Yeah.
anything can happen. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
Because they've already established there's Russian dogs, there's people that collect other animals, there's
Okay.
like all that shit's possible.
Okay.
In the world of Batman,
Yeah,
and
which they
Superman.
haven't really started yet.
they have in 2 movies.
Yeah.
So there's been 5 hours worth of world building
Yeah.
for this.
What's wrong with a warrior riding on top of a car fighting into a bunch of demons? What's wrong with that?
It just seems weird to me. Like, because
We know it seems weird to me, playing catch with an energy ball that you've never done in your life, but all of a sudden he goes, "Oh, look what I know how to do," and he made an energy ball and started catching it. It was so stupid. It was, like, ridiculous.
he knew that all his son wanted to do was play catch with another guy because he set it on the planet, which
Okay.
he is part of.
And here's another thing. What did he kill his mother for?
He killed his mother because
He was feeling too sentimental to her.
Yeah, he was
and
actually
didn't
in
wanna,
love with her.
So he just decides to kill her.
Yep.
he needed to fulfill his purpose.
Yeah. He got
Yeah,
obsessed
they-
with his mission in life.
I don't know.
I mean,
And he was back at that planet 4 times, so who knows what else he did when he was
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, he had a bunch of other kids. That
Well,
that
how
can
many
make
of
it.
those seeds did he plant?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, well, they all.
That's one thing that bothered me. When all those seeds started blooming, they could have thrown some cameos in there. Like, throw an Avenger, like even Falcon standing
Yeah,
there.
you could have done something when those
Yeah.
started
Or
growing.
SHIELD agents.
Somebody.
Something, a helicarrier or something.
Yeah.
Could have been
somebody
around.
on the scene.
Instead, it was just a
Bunch
blob.
of bunch of cars getting knocked over.
Watching it take over a Dairy Queen.
Yeah.
At least they updated the Dairy Queen from the 80s. So I'm glad to
It
see
looked like the
that.
cranberry one at the
All right,
beginning.
another problem I had, if we're getting
no.
staying with the problem themes, why Kurt Russell, who was he was millions of years old, when he went down there and met Star-Lord's mom, he was like young Kurt Russell because it was the 80s. And then 30 years later, he's old. He's eternal. Why did he?
That's because he went back to Earth 4 times.
Yeah.
He
And that-
aged.
And he aged.
I think
just
he
so
aged.
Just so he.
He went back to Earth 4 times and aged 30 years.
You know how far away Earth is.
And why is Star-Lord aging if he's eternal?
Well,
He's
only
only
half.
eternal wise on himself.
Yeah.
well, but also
They explained
also
all that.
because he actually said that I took this form to be palatable to you, Star-Lord. Right before he tried to turn into.
So he
David
turned.
Hasselhoff.
So he's being old. Yeah, the Dave Hasselhoff thing. That was.
But I mean, he turned into what he thought he would look like at that time, so it was palatable.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, that's what it was. He just explained it.
Well, that's what he thinks.
No, that's what they said in the movie.
That's what I said.
Okay. I still think he didn't have to be. He could have been younger, and it still would have been palatable to him. That you're a space god. You don't have to look.
You know he's old.
Wait a
right?
minute.
The actor's like an older guy.
Yeah. I just thought it was dumb. Like,
Saves on effects money.
hey, you don't. I'm eternal, but you get gray hair and you'll be looking like you're in your 70s.
It's
Yeah,
kind
but also wouldn't you be a little freaked out if your father was your age?
I'd be freaked out if my dad was a planet, regardless of what he looked like. Whether he looked like an old guy, young guy, a baby, he's a planet.
Again, this is where you're drawing the line.
He's a planet, for Christ's sakes. And, he was easy to beat by blowing up his brain, which was buried under the earth, and they knew right where it was.
It was at the center.
The core.
Yeah. You just kept going until you got
Until you got to the jail.
To the nougaty
But
center.
Ego didn't know how to get there at first. Because I think Rocket said, it'll be a little while till he finds us.
Yeah.
That was man.
Manus says that. I thought that was a little
What'd you
weird.
think about Mantis?
Eh.
I mean, she reminded me of her original stuff where she was kind of more of a docile character from space, using her. They totally stayed away from the telepathy part of it.
Yeah. How about her and Drax together with the "You're ugly" thing that they had to
That
drill
got old.
home a million times?
I just hope-
just more comic wordplay.
Yeah, I just hope they don't end up together in Guardians 3.
They will.
They will.
Hopefully she dies.
But
You know what it really reminded me of was the way they portrayed Caliban in Logan.
What?
Sort of the
His power doesn't. Her power doesn't really have any weight to it unless she uses it to like subdue people. She couldn't use it as a real
Right.
fighting situation.
and she was docile and sort of
Yeah.
What about all the after credit scenes? Do you think those were all necessary?
No, not at all. That was all just ego stroking at James Gunn. But I enjoyed
They were like comedy cutscenes.
The Groot one was probably the only one I wasn't really like, oh yeah. Like I thought the James Gunn brother stabbing Drax was funny.
Yeah. You explained that they showed the original Guardians of the Galaxy, which I didn't pick up on.
Okay, so was it Sylvester Stallone? What's the dude?
Ving Rhames.
Ving Rhames. And then there's a crystal guy that they show a couple times.
Martin X.
Martin X. And Sylvester Stallone is Starhawk. Is it Starhawk?
yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Ving Rhames is Charlie 27. And then the robot, I forget who those people are. The demon, there's like a
Yeah,
robot.
like snake guy.
Yeah, it was all strange. Basically, what they're doing is that they were all, because they were friends with Yondu during the movie, kind of talked about how they used to hang out together back in the day.
Until he found out he was doing human trafficking with children.
Yes, which I can
He was
understand.
bringing him the ego,
Yes.
so he could kill him.
So Yondu, they kind of, because he was also original Guardians of the Galaxy from the comic book, they kind of showed that they all got together. I wouldn't be surprised if they make a Ravagers movie.
You really think they'll make a Ravagers movie?
I mean, why it'd be the Marvel Expendables.
Yeah, I mean, because they weren't Ravagers in the comic; they were
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians
yeah,
of the
but they-
Galaxy.
But now they're Ravagers.
Yeah, because they already took the Guardian's name.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Ravagers in outer space too.
And they,
100 factions.
Yep.
and they have a lot of fireworks.
I mean, that scene where Rocket's taking them all out on the thing. I don't know how many people he had.
Oh, yeah.
He like kills a bunch, kills more, and then there's like 100 still there. I'm like, God, he brought a lot of guys.
And I liked how they made fun of him. Oh, you're weak now that you don't have your little toys. And he beats the shit out of two of them.
Yeah, Rocket's always good. I enjoy Rocket.
I
Rocket
did
was
like
good.
the one-upsmanship between him and Star-Lord in the movie. I thought that was a fun little addition.
I mean, like I said, they're interaction together, their chemistry is great. They're good. I mean, they will be really. Rocket will be fantastic, especially if he's around Hulk.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And all that. It'll be great in that sort of interaction. Spider-Man with Groot and Rocket will be great if they do that.
I just hope Groot's situated back to his old style Groot, where he's
James Gunn said he's going to fight the Hulk, so he's going to be. I mean, he's come out and said Hulk and Groot are going to fight. Like, that's like his thing that he's pushing.
So Hulk's going to fight a tree.
Hulk's going to fight a tree.
That he destroys all the time.
Yeah, that he walks through for it.
Because, they have to fight when they first meet. That's like the standard in the Marvel universe or any universe.
Yeah.
That's the Marvel equivalent to sniffing your dog.
Yeah, when they land in space and it'll be like, who are you? And they'll have to punch each other a few times.
Imagine if we did that and went to another city and be like, wait a minute, who are these people in this bar? And just
we're here to help. We just start fighting and
But if
punching.
you remember, in the comics, it's Hulk and Drax.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Drax was a lot bigger.
Well, that's true.
During Infinity War, he was Space Hulk.
Yeah.
He wore the purple cape and he was huge.
Yeah, that's right.
And all that. So they fought a lot. He wouldn't be fighting him at his level as cool sword swinging
As Dagger,
Dagger Drax. When he was Space Hulk, they were always fighting. They were like, the thing.
So
But,
we kind of bashed it for a little bit, but I did like that.
Yeah.
And I also think that, real quick, when they spelled out the Guardians of the Galaxy will be back, it was in the same font that the Thor movie stuff is in.
Yeah.
So I have a feeling that they're going to pop up.
In Thor's movie? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I have a feeling that Thor 2... I have a feeling that Thor 3 is going to be like Cap 3 was, but for all the characters.
All the space people. Yeah. Now, Justin brought up an interesting point
No, he didn't.
earlier where he said that he heard that they're going to back up, delay Infinity War Part 2 and get Guardians 3 in between it.
That was, like I said, I read that somewhere on a website. I can't remember what website it was, so I need to go back and find it. It may be one of those, really unreputable sites that just spews articles out for clickbait. But they were talking about trying to shoehorn Guardians 3 in
That way you would get
before.
Adam Warlock
Yeah.
in there with that.
It's kind of necessary for the Thanos stuff.
I just hope the third movie isn't just him trying to kill the Guardians,
Yeah.
and that's all it is a fight between them until they realize they're good or whatever, and he has a come to Jesus moment. Because she's making him to kill them, is what she said.
Yeah.
Because her useless army can't beat 5 people, so
Well, technically, he would be part of her army because she made the army.
Yeah,
Him.
yeah. She has to make this super being because the video game kids couldn't get the job done.
It's true.
That
The perfectly genetically engineered video game.
yeah, and that mining vehicle, those nifty lasers.
I wonder if her people are going to be the High Evolutionary. Because they do a lot of crafting and gening.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
Have you ever seen the movie The Last Starfighter?
yes.
Do you remember in The Last Starfighter at the end where he's the last Starfighter, he's just in one ship, and that whole army surrounds him, and the alien presses that button where it's
Goes into the Nova Blast.
and
type deal.
all the doors open and starts shooting lasers in every corner and they destroy the whole army? That's what Rocket did at the end of this movie.
Yeah.
The lasers went all over and he spun around and cleared out the whole army. He did the exact same thing. He Last Starfighter that. As soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, that's exactly what that is.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that. There's a.
And how much does Jim hate me right now? You think I'm defriended by now? You think he
should be.
unfriended me by now?
Him and Emily didn't make it through this because you're
I
a
think you
big
should be
jerk.
unfriended.
Hey, I'm sorry. It's just my opinion. I like I said, it's a movie I'll watch again, but this isn't by anywhere near chance one of my favorite movies
I
in the
see where you're
MCU.
coming from, though. It didn't really further the overall story yet, but it could potentially.
And being one of the movies leading into Thor Ragnarok, and we have Infinity. We're this, especially before when we were so far away from Infinity War, and it was okay to do. We're so close to it happening.
Yeah.
I thought there would be. I was expecting a lot more.
We still have Spider-Man and Thor coming out this year. So.
When I heard there was end credit scenes in this movie,
There
I
were a
thought
lot of end credit
there's
scenes.
gonna be 5 because I read Jim said there's gonna be 5. I'm like, oh, we're gonna see Thanos.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna see Thanos either plotting, doing something. I was like, oh, we saw Groot as a teenager, Batista get an arrow in the head, and I'm like, this is it. This is all I got for all these scenes. Okay, we got Adam Warlock. Good. I like that. That's cool. But
I thought it wasn't even him. It was just the cocoon.
and wasn't his cocoon supposed to be? Everybody thought it was in the collector's case.
Yeah.
Because it was the real looking cocoon.
It was the real. Yeah.
Not this King Tut pyramid looking.
Maybe Apocalypse is in that one. Not Adam.
But if you don't remember, that's the one that's on the cover that everyone knows is
True.
Yeah, because that's what everybody for the past year since Guardians come out, they've been showing that image.
right.
Guess what's inside here?
Well, there's still an Easter egg that James Gunn swears no one has found, and
Him.
I have so much editing to do in this podcast.
It's late. We're angry.
I like the way that Adam Warlock's cocoon looked. It looked exactly like the cover. It was just gold and mechanical instead of like they did a good job of the detail of it, making it from a insect almost looking. Because it really doesn't make sense. He was like a robotic god-like thing coming out of a weird
More
green.
like not just a cybernetic caterpillar
Yeah,
type.
Yeah. It should
Right.
turn into a butterfly.
An iron butterfly.
Anybody got anything else you want to say about this movie?
Anybody ever read a novel called Armada?
No.
We don't read real books.
All right.
Lance.
It's a guy by the name of Ernest Cline. He's the guy that did Ready Player One. But the whole thing about the drones,
Yeah.
it figures really large into that book.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking Gunn actually like read this before he
Yeah.
actually wrote
And then
the
the
script.
drone, the arcade, the alien arcade. I was like, come on. I don't know.
So butthurt about it.
Yeah, just something like it. But anyway, ratings time?
Ready for ratings?
Ratings.
Yeah? Brock.
4 nondescript baseball caps.
Lance.
3 tan bald heads.
Okay.
4.5 cheese wheels.
4.5.
I gave Guardians 1.5, and I like this one
we supposed to
a
reference what
little
we-
bit less.
Wait, I didn't know we rated that movie.
Yeah, when did we rate that movie?
I did it myself.
Oh, okay.
He was just eating
Back
cheese.
in the day.
He's like, I like this movie so much, I'm going to eat 5 whole cheese wheels.
Okay.
Poor Justin.
And later
I'll
that
give us
afternoon when he was
3.5 bandanas.
Okay. My rating is based solely on not that I enjoy it as an MCU movie is how I'm rating this, and I give it 2.5 white bald heads
You graded it based on Marvel or not based on?
on Marvel on a Marvel on a movie that I was really looking forward to as an MCU movie. I was really looking forward to this one, way more than I was Doctor Strange and a lot of these other movies. I was really looking forward to this one.
Well,
2.5. It's like I said before. It's the next Iron Man 3 for me.
Iron Man 3 is a bad movie.
A lot of people enjoy Iron Man 3 and think it's very entertaining. We didn't like it because we were so, sorry to get gross here, we were so rock hard after the end of Avengers and wanted more, and we were like, man, Avengers was great, and we went into Iron Man 3 like, yeah, and then we just hated the rest of it. If you watch it without that now, it's not bad. There's some good parts to it. He's entertaining. He's Tony Stark in it and being funny and all that stuff. And people love Iron Man 3. But
I kind of dug it. It's definitely not my favorite.
as an MCU movie, it's freaking terrible.
Here,
I see your point, and I see what you're like, how you're coming up with this. That movies that aren't like furthering the story, all you really want to do is further the story,
And that's what I want.
and that's fine.
Again, this isn't what maybe the rest of the country wants. This is what I want. I give my opinion on here because that's what I do. This isn't what everybody else may think, or it may be completely wrong. But what I want are MCU movies because that's what I like to see. I want this big story to keep on rolling. And if you're gonna go off with it on some of them, I don't know. Like I could have passed with seeing this. I don't know. I feel the same way I do about Iron Man 3. Now, like I said, I watch Iron Man 3 now that I'm over it, and it's okay. I'll watch this movie on HBO a whole bunch of times and go, yeah, it's funny. It's enjoyable. It's a cool scene, and not care about it. But as of right now, I'm disappointed.
So you didn't get what you wanted out of it.
I didn't get what I wanted out of it at all.
That's fair. All right.
there you have it.
Okay.
Well, thanks for listening, everybody.
Sorry, Jim.
No, you're not.
No, you're not.
Write down what you thought about the movie, or Dawn's thoughts, your thoughts on Dawn's thoughts, or my thoughts on Dawn's thoughts.
Your thoughts or you hate me is your thoughts.
Well, they didn't need this movie to figure that out.
This is our last show together.
Solo projects from now on.
Go upstairs, please.
More DB's comic talk.
So please like, share, subscribe, invite. Thanks for listening, everybody. Good night.
Thanks, everybody.